Why grammar is not the key to fluency. Have you ever met someone who speaks English so naturally that every sentence flows like water, even though they don't know all the grammar rules? And then there's another person who has spent years studying grammar, memorizing every tense, every rule, yet still hesitates, stumbles, and translates every word before speaking. Why does that happen? The answer is simple but powerful. Grammar helps you organize your language, but it doesn't make you fluent. Fluency is about confidence, rhythm, and expression, not about correctness. When you hear a fluent speaker talk, they aren't thinking about tenses or sentence patterns. They don't pause to decide whether it's the past perfect or the present continuous. Their mind is not trapped in rules. It's focused on ideas, emotions, and connection. They speak to express, not to impress. That's the real difference. The truth is, grammar is like a map. It can guide you, but it can't drive the car for you. You must take control of the wheel, which means you must speak your way into fluency, not memorize your way there. Think about children for a moment. Do they study grammar before speaking their first words? Of course not. They learn through listening, repeating, and imitating. They pick up the rhythm, the sounds, and the emotion of the language. Their fluency comes from experience, not from theory. And the same principle applies to you. You don't need to fill your mind with grammar rules. You need to fill your environment with English sounds, words, and conversations. When you surround yourself with the language, your brain naturally starts building its own rules without you even realizing it. That's because communication matters more than perfection. The goal of language is not to be flawless. It's to be understood. When you share your message clearly and confidently, people will understand you, even if you make a few grammar mistakes. The greatest speakers in the world aren't perfect. They're passionate. They care more about connecting than correcting. So if you ever stop yourself mid-sentence thinking, wait, is this grammatically correct? You're holding yourself back from fluency. Instead of focusing on correctness, focus on naturalness. Learn and practice real-life phrases, expressions that people actually use every day. Listen to conversations, movies, and podcasts. Pay attention to phrases like, you know what I mean? Or, that makes sense. These small expressions carry huge power. They give your speech a natural flow that no grammar book can teach you. When you start collecting and using these phrases, your brain begins to think in patterns instead of rules. And that's where fluency truly begins. Grammar itself isn't your enemy. It's just the way you approach it. You don't have to study it like a textbook full of rules. Instead, let grammar reveal itself to you through examples. Notice how people use it naturally. Watch how native speakers form sentences. Over time, you'll feel what's correct without needing to analyze it. That feeling, that sense of what sounds right, is the true secret of fluency. It can't be memorized. It can only be absorbed. Repetition is another powerful key. Every time you repeat a sentence, your tongue, your brain, and your confidence become more synchronized. The more you say it, the more natural it becomes. Think of it like music. At first, you need to learn the notes, but once you've practiced enough, you just feel the rhythm. English is no different. Fluency is rhythm, not grammar. When you speak with flow and emotion, your listener focuses on your message, not your mistakes. That's why clarity matters far more than correctness. Always ask yourself, did I say what I meant to say? If yes, you've succeeded. Fluency is not about using big, complicated words or complex structures. It's about communicating your thoughts clearly and confidently. Once you master that, grammar can come later, naturally and effortlessly. Remember, you don't learn to speak by memorizing. You learn by speaking. You can read 100 grammar books, but if you don't open your mouth, your fluency will never grow. Every time you speak, record yourself or have a small conversation, even if it's with yourself, you're training your brain to think faster, express better, and respond more naturally. That's how fluency develops. Word by word, sentence by sentence, moment by moment. So stop waiting for the day when your grammar becomes perfect, because that day might never come. Instead, start speaking imperfectly today. The more you speak, the better you'll sound. The more you express, the more you'll impress. Fluency isn't built through fear of mistakes. It's built through courage to communicate. And remember this, fluency is freedom. Freedom from hesitation, from overthinking, and from the need to be perfect. Grammar is important, but it should never become your prison. Let it guide you, not control you. Because fluency begins the moment you stop trying to sound perfect and start trying to sound real. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. I'd also love to know, which country are you watching from? Drop your flag in the comments below.